All right, to watch this video for Tuesday, October 16th. Quick apologies to everybody who was in chat this morning. I was on the mic. I was like 10 minutes away from doing the pre-market gapper overview, right? I kept posting hey, here's the new gapper I'm watching. Here's another gapper I'm going to watch for a possible gap play after the opening bell. And I lose internet 10 minutes before I usually do that morning overview. And then I was down for the count, so I texted Wayne and said, "Hey, tell everybody I'm out. I got no internet." So that's part of the job. And then it came back on a little bit later in the morning. As you guys know, I've got chaos going on. I'm almost back to full-time trading. I'd say at the very least, the very latest, a week from today, and maybe sooner. All right. So no, probably next Monday will be my first day full-time trading again, and then I'll talk about what's been keeping me so busy. But after the internet issue this morning, I was still able to get connected an hour or two in, whenever it was, and then I had other stuff going on. And as we teach in our trading course, we always say trade or do something else, right? But don't try to do trading and something else. But and my internet kept going down, right? So I was able to. I literally took one trade all day, and it was 200 shares. So that's why I'm going to show this. This isn't like, hey, this is a huge day. But $360, not a bad day when you consider I had one trade with 200 shares. I guess I averaged about $1.80 a share on Wayne's idea of taking TLRY through 160 bucks. And I actually used one of those buy stop orders and got filled while I was on the phone, and actually realized a minute or two later I was in. And then I scaled out of some. I think I took 100 shares off the table, and next thing I know, my internet went out again. So as we teach, I logged into my phone app for TradeStation and killed the rest, and still ended up, with one 200 share trade, $360. So I'm actually, believe it or not, proud of that, because 360 is not bad when you are trading under the conditions I traded under today, right? All right. Anyway, so the SPY, you could almost argue it's kind of in a little. Let's go to 15-minute candles. You could almost argue that you had the big sell-off, and you kind of have a little flag pattern, like a bear flag pattern forming. That, again, I don't live and die by SPY patterns because anything can happen. And I'm not good at predicting the overall market ever. That's why I trade individual stocks that are running on individual company news and that sort of thing. But anyway, the SPY did, on an intraday basis, open, kind of threatened to take out its early high, took out its low, then took out its high, and then ended up closing almost at the low of day. But fairly narrow range considering the last few days, right? Compared to the last few days. So here's what I'm watching for Tuesday. I think, fingers crossed, I think I get to trade at least the first couple hours tomorrow morning. All right, so T-Rove, T-R-O-V, had this big spike back here on big volume all the way up to $1.07 and came back down, but it's starting to curl back up and a little bit extra volume today. Today it topped out at 96 cents, 96.5, sorry. Certainly love it over today's high. Maybe then you get a push through the whole number $1, and then remember $1.07, a break of that. It's kind of blue skies-ish, right? So we definitely want to watch TROV, AMDA, a strong, look at this on 5-minute candles, very strong close. We had it on watch for today. Obviously, as I said, I wasn't around much today, so I didn't get a chance to participate in this late day push, but I'm certainly going to watch it tomorrow. All right. IGC, after this big pop, then it came back down. It's kind of chopping sideways. There's really no chart formation here. Longs aren't winning, shorts aren't winning, right, over the last week or so. But the pot stock's very, very strong today, so I do want to watch this one. I do like that green candle and the fact that it's trading above the 20-day again. FLKS, big breakout of a tight range today on really big volume. Actually topped out at 105 before closing at 95 cents. Certainly want to watch that one for the next few days. PYX has been one of the stronger stocks out there, pot stock related, had a huge pop here. And then now you've got a couple red days in a row, getting back down near the 8th day. That goes on bounce watch for tomorrow. VTVT had this huge 2-day run. And then it's been consolidating ever since. And you could argue, if you follow my mouse cursor here, you had kind of a trend line here and a trend line here. You could argue that it's breaking a tight pattern to the downside after the big pop. I kind of look at it as it's coming back down into what I call the buy zone between the 8 and the 20-day moving average. And it's also had 3 red days in a row after kind of a nice 2-day attempt at a pop again. I still think this is worth watching, but I'm not as bullish on it as I was. I am going to have it on a chart tomorrow. All right. PEIX has almost round trip, so I don't like this very much at all. Ethanol company had this huge pop back here, and now we're like 5 red days in a row back to the 5 red days in a row. Sorry, back to the 20-day on declining volume on the pullback. It's still above where it started its run from, but I'm not in love with this one at all. I actually kind of hate the way this one trades, but we'll watch it. ACRX had the gap up today. We talked about it being halted all day yesterday, then today opened up here. No trades in it today, closing well below its open. But after this big 2-day run and then the gap up, of course, it's logical that we got some selling. You basically, on an intraday basis, got a gap fill today. So I do want to watch this one for the next few days. A couple more. EYPT. Really nice move back here, then a lower high, and then it's kind of, you could kind of argue that it's flagging, kind of a flag pattern, and a strong volume day today closing at its highs. Maybe it's ready to head back up and test these earlier highs from a few weeks ago. So that one goes on watching. And then lastly, GLBS, which I think did a reverse split. Somebody said today. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. It's hard. 1 for 10, which was today. Now, this seemed to get all the shippers going, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the shippers were going in anyway, and then this one had the reverse split. For some reason, day traders love reverse splits, and sometimes they just get going because they reverse split, so the float's lower. I don't know. This one, I looked at it a little bit today in between internet outages and in between my chaos, and it had stupid spreads. But I still think with this nice volume spike and a strong close, you might get a second day play out of this one. Certainly not in love with it. I'll add some gappers in the pre-market. Fingers crossed that my internet will be better. The teamwork is amazing whether I'm there or not, so I see a lot of people just trading away. The room has no dependency on my participation, so I love that about the teamwork in the room. And that TLRY trade that I made today, which whatever $360 or whatever I made was, thanks to Wayne. He's the moderator in the room, and it was his spot on that one that I agreed with and took that trade. So there's always somebody spotting something. If you are not a member of the room, I won't keep saying this every video, but I'm going to keep saying it for the next week or two probably, because I want people to know we've always had kind of a high barrier to entry to our chat room. And now we've set it up where we have a really new pricing scale where you can get involved for $79. Oh, hang on. I want to show something real quick. I actually, on the in-between internet outages today, I actually popped in and saw this in my chat room. It was a private message, and I always black those out because a private message means, they want to keep it private. So I don't show the names. But this is somebody who just recently tried that $79 deal. And I've been getting a lot of emails too, like, wow, your room, I want to try your course too. Your room is not like the other rooms I've been in. And it's certainly education-based and daily Q&A every day at lunch, with the exception of the last couple of weeks because I've been in and out. Again, I'm back to full-time a week from today. But always appreciate posts like this, and I like to share them because, you know what, I've been doing this since 2004, and I know what some of the people who have started rooms are doing. And I cringe when I think that somebody finds those rooms first. And a lot of people do, because I'm talking about the ones who advertise heavily. They're not interested in teaching you to trade. They are interested in bringing in people to the room, trying to get them to chase a stock. And if you have 500 to 1,000 new people chasing your calls that are just completely random and just looking for low float stocks at the open to get this big group of people, then you can make a ton of money if you're that moderator, right? And then guess what? A lot of people get burned in those, but you're selling to them, and then you make a killing. And guess what? You get to advertise. Oh, I made 4,000 today, and then people go, "Wow, this guy's amazing!" And then more people sign up when they when they read the ad. So I just want I know. Let me rephrase it. I know what's out there. All right. So I always try to share in these videos. If somebody says, "Wow, you guys are different," I actually think I deserve that comment, and I've earned it. I've been doing this since 2004, And I have, I don't know if I can use the word disdain, but yeah, I can use it. I have disdain for some of these people that are absolutely destroying potential trading careers that never had a chance to get off the ground because they clicked on an ad and landed in one of those rooms first. The next thing you know, their trading account's gone and they're blaming themselves. That's how good these guys are. That's how good these charlatans are. They can make people blame themselves because a newer trader doesn't know any better, right? You think, man, I blew up my account. I wish I was as good as this guy. No, this guy is getting you to buy something so he can sell it to you and make money and then advertise his gains and then bring in new sheep and so on. But without any regard for how many people that might have had a good day trading career, but these people don't care. One of these days I'm going to lose my mind and put up a picture of a couple of these guys. But, well, never mind, I can't. I'll get sued. But anyway, I always love those comments because, again, I think I've earned them. I've been doing this a long time, and my number one priority is always keeping traders safe and teaching people how to look for actually stacked catalyst setups with inflection points and so on, and actually learning how to trade. So if I get hit by a truck next week, my chat room will go on like I never even died. All right, I'm done babbling. We'll see y'all tomorrow.